Race number 4 then is the first leg of the triple trio on Sunday, and the fourth is a Class 4 over the 1200 metres. 2 debutants going to post as well. Field headed though by Exponential, a course and distance winner on debut. Class 2 starts over the 1400 down in trip. Beluga, the first of debutants, David Hall, Zach Purton, Eternal Harvest. 5th on debut behind War of Courage. He comes up in trip. So Awesome, the other debutant, Mi Choi and Dylan Moe, gets the wide gate, barrier 11. Cool Ace, 4th last time out behind Supreme Witness. Super 18 is first up since October. He's basically tailed off there here over the 1200 behind Big Fortune, down to Baby Storm, who'll jump from barrier 2 under Derek Long.
Speed map here with the Brave Baby, Cool Ace and Beluga. Now, probably you can see horses like Brave Baby end up being caught wide. Cool Ace and Beluga, I think Purton probably just wants to take a trail potentially, so you could see him slotting in between Cool Ace and Eternal Harvest. Exponential, he's finally drawn a bit of gate this time round because he's had 14, 10 and 13. He's come up with gate number 6. No entrenched leader in this race though.
This horse has had a lot of lameness problems. He hasn't raced for 12 months. But he's back on the racecourse coming up, so keep an eye out for him. His work's been okay leading into it. You can see he's having a decent stretch out there. Beluga, the first starter. Now he's a horse who's 1111 pounds, 1,111. Do I say enough once? But he goes nicely here, and his trials have been good. He's had 5 of them. He moves nicely here. Barrier 10 on debut. And Cool Ace, didn't mind this piece of work from him. He's another horse who's only had limited starts. He's only had the 2. But you can see he goes nicely here in the morning as well. It stretches out really well. So good piece, I thought, from him.
Yeah, he looks sharp. Let's start off, though, with Exponential. As I mentioned before, he won first up as a bit of a surprise. It was 50 to 1 nearly. Went off at favourite, then beaten. This is a slightly better run. He comes back in trip.
Yeah, he was caught wide again last time out, but look, he's had 14, 10, 13. When he won from 14, that was a great ride from Chad Schofield. He's come up with gate 6 this time round for Matthew Chadwick. He still ran on at the end of this race behind Fantastic Show, so I thought that was encouraging, and with a better draw, he's a big chance.
Yeah, I've definitely got him in there. He showed he's got plenty of ability, and the blinkers will go on for this run as well.
All right, so Exponential certainly with chances there. What about Beluga on debut? Let's hear from the jockey, Zach Purton.
Zach Beluga, you've ridden him in all 5 of his trials leading into his debut on Sunday. What can you tell us about this horse?
He goes all right. He's got a little bit of speed. He should be able to put himself in a handy position, and his last couple of trials have been all right.
Looking at his most recent trial at Happy Valley, when you asked for a bit from him, it looked like he responded quite nicely.
Yeah, he probably wasn't going past much, but he accelerated well enough. He wanted to hang in, which wasn't ideal, and it was probably sort of why I sort of stopped riding him a little bit. But you know, hopefully on race day he can go a little bit straighter.
Had a couple of trials earlier on in the season. He's been gelded since then. He's had 3 more trials. Have you noticed a difference since he's been gelded in the horse?
Oh, he's a little bit easier to manage. He seems to be a little bit more focused with what he's doing these days.
What about the gate on Sunday, drawn a little awkwardly? How do you plan to counter that?
Yeah, it's not a good gate at all, especially with a young horse having his first start. But like I said, he's shown speed in his trials, so I would assume he'll go forward.
Just a member of the opposition to ask you about Cool Ace. You rode him last time out. Loomed up at one stage. What was your take on his performance?
Yeah, I think he's probably going to end up being a miler in time. He jumped well, sort of probably had to do a little bit of work during the mid stages, and he wanted to hang in quite bad in the straight. He doesn't really know what racing is about yet. I think the distance is making him work a little bit too much during the run, and once he starts stepping up in trip, we'll see a better horse.
All right, so good run down there on Cool Ace as well, but Beluga, he does look quite nice, doesn't he?
He does. They paid 400,000 New Zealand dollars for him out of the sales over there. Went to the line in a decent enough trial there under a good hold, and I think he's a big player here. I think if he can take potentially the trail behind Cool Ace, because we saw Eternal Harvest first up was quite fractious in the gates and then missed it, so that might allow him the opportunity to get in there.
Yeah, he's come up pretty short too in the market. There's plenty of market support early for him anyway, but I've liked his trials.
All right, so Ed was saying there, 5 trials. Zach's been on board for all 5 of them. Tom just mentioned Eternal Harvest. Here he is trialling with Charity Grant, who has had that just over a year off the track.
Yeah, so I'm happy to watch Charity Grant with that year off. But look, I've found a spot for Eternal Harvest. He did miss the start in his debut run. He was really well back there on the back of some good work and trials. A 5.1 chance he started. Ricky U stable going well. So, look, I found a spot for Internal Half.
Yeah, Ryan Moore rode him first up. As I mentioned, he was really fractious in the gates. So the other horse in that trial, Charity Grant, he's had cannon issues and a lame left hind and a lame right front. So he's been away for a while.
He has. They persevered. Best of luck with his return. Beluga's favourite, Paul, on debut.
Yeah, got the whale on top there. Beluga, he's looking good here. His trials have been good. He's had the 5 starts. So he's on top to beat the 1. Exponential. I think he can run a nice race with the blinkers on for the first time and a bit of draw. Eternal Harvest, he's only had that 1 start, but looked good before it and did hit the line strongly enough. And Cool Ace, he doesn't really know what this is all about yet, but when the penny drops, I think we're going to have a good racehorse there. So 3, 1, 5 and 9.
Very similar numbers. I've gone 3, 1, 5 and we'll plus 1 to 9 and make it 10 for Spontaneous there. But Beluga, I think he can go close. And there's just that wide stall, but I think he's shown enough speed in his recent trials to be right up there at the business end. Exponential finally from a good draw. Eternal Harvest and number 10 Spontaneous. He went round at 16 to 1 last time out, a little bit keen and just battle, but again he's come up with a wide stall, 13, 11 and 13 again. 3, 1, 5 and 10.
All right, first leg of the Triple Chair, we've all got the 1, the 3 and the 5 in the numbers. So a solid start there. Baby Storm is the one outside the square for me, who caught the eye, staying on last time out as well. Big price about him. All right, that's race number 4 done and dusted. Race number 5 up next for us. First leg, give the 6 up.